Yo, yo, yo. It's your boy. And today we're going to be talking about the rent crisis that everybody's been kind of living through. I'm sorry if you're feeling it. If you're feeling the rent crisis, leave your comment down here below. We want to hear from you. See, are you paying too much rent or um, do you struggle to pay rent because of your wage? We all want to know. Uh, Leave your comments down below. But today's video we're gonna be watching TikTok rant, and let's just dive right into it.
If you rent, can you please tell me how much your rent is going up?
My rent in Miami has gone up $750.
She lives in Miami. I'm just gonna put that out there. If you live in a major city, I can imagine your rent went up. Uh, I live in Tampa. Everything has gone up in the last 6 years, and I can tell you when I first started living here, I paid $1,000 rent for a two-bedroom, one bath apartment, and that doesn't exist anymore. I think it's absolutely nuts.
I just got told that my rent is going up by $100 a week.
So, rent with all of our fees and everything, $2,000 a month for a one-bedroom apartment.
Our landlord wants us to move because he found somebody that's willing to pay $3,000 a month in rent.
Damn!
Right now, the U.S. economy
Who the hell is paying $3,000 a month?
in a crisis.
And we've been to about 40, maybe nearly 50 properties, and we haven't been accepted to any that we've applied to.
There's a rental crisis, a people with homes that can't afford their rent.
These rental prices are outrageous. The quality of these homes are despicable, and these landlords are outrageous.
Oh,
Rent
man.
prices are skyrocketing. People on TikTok are sharing their horror stories about outrageous rent increases and terrible landlords. This is the 7th part of our Going Homeless series. Let's dive into the world of rental woes and see what's really going on.
Homie got his title
And
wrong.
yeah, one more thing.
He said
Subscribe
part 6,
or economy
but
will collapse.
This is part 7.
So, I've been a homeowner for 2.5 years now, but I never told y'all why. So, about 3 years
You heard that. Subscribe or the economy's going to collapse. Your subscription, your like, that's what makes the world go round, baby.
ago, my husband and I, we were less than a year into marriage, living in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,000 square foot apartment for $1,500. So because we had been living there for almost 1 year, as expected, we got a renewal letter. Child, why was our rent going up from $1,500 to $2,000? 500 US dollars. We're talking about the same apartment with the same floors, the same counters, the same space. And immediately we knew we were not going to stay there. So we started looking at other places. However, this was 2022. And in 2022, rent hikes were crazy everywhere. So we decided if we're going to be paying $2,000, we might as well own a home. Then we realized how incredibly predatory home ownership was. Y'all, there were neighborhoods with waiting lists where you would put your name down on a list and they would call you and you would have 24 hours to tell them whether you want to move forward or not, and you had to also put down your deposit that day. So we ended up having to look outside of our preferred area and went about 30 miles north, and we came across some new construction that we did like that was reasonable. But remember, y'all, this is not something we planned for. So to get the closing costs, the down payment, all that stuff, we had to temporarily relocate and live with my parents, which is a privilege a lot of people do not have. All of this to say, I'm not someone who's going to advocate for home ownership over renting or vice versa. But I am someone who's going to advocate for affordable housing, rent stabilization, assistance for first-time home buyers, and solutions to the housing shortage.
Yo, I'm gonna be real with you. I feel like as a millennial, like everyone here agrees with that right there. Like we all just want to live like practical lives. We don't want to be like paying $4,000, $3,000 in rent. Holy shit. Like we get it. You know what I mean? Like there's money to be made in real estate, but like is this the way that we should be making money in real estate? Um I think it's crazy, dude. Like the the dramatic change from like 2019 to 2025 is out out of this world. I've never seen rent so fucking expensive. Excuse my French. And to this lady's point, you know what I mean? Home ownership is not that much better. Like you're gonna go buy a house, and then what? The freaking pipes in your wall break, and then there's water spraying into your living room from your kitchen, and you don't have the money to fix it, so now you're in a rotting house. There's no money to fix anything, and there's no money to increase the rent. Like you gotta just, you got like, we gotta come back round and kind of figure out where we went wrong there, because I feel like, are we really trying to milk every single dollar out of people's wages for rent? Like, is that, do the elites that own the rental properties actually believe that's going to be a good idea for the economy if they have more of the money? Like shit.
And not to make everything political, but this is on the ballot, and VP Harris has a plan. Millions of Americans can't afford to buy a home or rent a suitable apartment. And because of that, we also can't afford to not vote and not do anything about it.
Trump won the election, right? I'm gonna be real with you. I'm glad Trump won the election. I don't think that what VP Harris would have tried to do, like the thought, everybody wants to be here like, oh, well, it's the thought that counts. But it's like, dude, the economy's already messed up. Pumping more money, pumping more free money into the bottom of the economy is not going to make things better. It's going to make things worse. And it's going to make things, it would make things worse in a way that we probably couldn't even predict. Like, who could have saw it coming? Inflation. After years of giving out free money to people, it's like, who would have thought? I mean, whatever, dude. I don't know. I also, here's a conspiracy theory, complete conspiracy theory here. The conspiracy theory is they want you to be poor, and they want you to work a remote job for like 15 an hour in the boondocks while also simultaneously growing your own food. Complete conspiracy, but I'm on this tinfoil hat theory here that this is all being done on purpose.
I just want to show you some things in my mum's rental property that just makes sense, you know? So firstly, we've got this section of the house. This is the 4th bedroom, as the real estate called it. But the problem is, you can just, I mean, I could literally almost fit in here.
What the hell? I'm gonna let this play in a second, but like, ask yourself, is this a place that I would live in? I mean, like, I don't know. She's renting here, apparently. I don't know how much they're paying in rent, but like, if I went to go find a rental, I look around and I ask myself, is this place in decent enough shape that when I come in to live here, I'm not going to be sleeping with rodents, potentially? There's a whole opening in the side of her house. I wouldn't be surprised, like, if I woke up in the middle of the night and went to the kitchen and there was, like, a whole raccoon eating cereal on my fucking dining table.
So that's number 1. And then number 2, I love an accessible property, but I do love how these windows are just,
holy cow,
material.
Material.
The front door that doesn't
they're plastic.
Actually close.
And not even good plastic. They're like,
so really this is
they're
just
like a thin sheet of paper bag.
Next up, we have the outdoor toilet.
Plastic bag.
Love that. It's great for the middle of the night. Also at the back we have these beautiful windows. Unfortunately we're missing a couple. Same goes over here where you can see we've just hung a blanket up to help with that, but we are again missing a couple of windows.
I'm gonna guess she's paying $2,000 rent for this place.
And then this is filled with the landlord's things. Oh, I can't even get in there. But this is supposed to be the 3rd bedroom. Heading inside. Excuse the mess, but coming into the kitchen, We have our bucket of water that we use to fill up the kettle or the sink because the taps don't run. We have this one.
Why are you renting there? Like, why are you renting there? You're like, you may be actually better off just paying more money in rent. It's not a complete waste to have the comfort of like running water, to wash the dishes. So I don't know what they're going through. You know what? My heart goes out to their family because I have no idea. Like maybe this is a lighthearted video. Maybe it's completely fake. Who knows? It could have just been made up for TikTok, right? But like, I'm here sitting here watching it. You're watching it with me. We're the viewer. We're sitting here watching this, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one sitting here thinking, why would I or anyone rent a place like that? I mean, like, you gotta have some standard, right? Like, if it doesn't have running water in the kitchen, um, I'm gonna go find the next place to rent. And I'll be real with you too. Here's another thing. There's some planning when you're a renter. You got to live kind of like a gypsy if you're moving every 2 years. I had to do that. I've been doing that for a while. I've only been in this place since March of 24. So you know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where it's like, why would you go rent a place that makes living harder? I mean, whatever.
Wonderful single burner stove and oven. Love that.
This is crazy, dude.
And then if we come through to the bathroom, we've got another bucket so that we can use the sink, and then some spare buckets down here just in case.
She's got to be a single mom. She's got to be a single mom. The house is a wreck. Who in their right mind rents a house like that with no rent? Dude, I feel for the kids, bro. If this lady has a donation thing, I will donate to her. This is crazy. There's a whole opening in the side of her house. Like that's what I'm still stuck on. Like the opening on the side of her house, fucking rats, The rats, the raccoons, the snakes. Where's her kid sleeping? Better not be the floor, because I'm looking at this video and I'm just there's no sense here. There's something wrong upstairs, man. The lights are on but nobody's home.
And then, beautiful window, mirror. Hi. My favorite feature though is just this drain that drains directly to the ground outside. Then we have really the only living space in the house. So bedrooms on either side, but completely packed up with stuff. Have more stuff out here because the other bedrooms are full with other stuff. But yeah, that's the tour.
I just got denied.
Yo, that was the tour. That house was like a disaster, dude. That house was built by like my grandfather when he was 11 years old. And it turned out to be a house, but it started as a tree house. And the opening was for him to shoot fucking airsoft through.
An apartment rental application because my rent to income ratio was too low. But how does that make sense when every job in this town pays around what I make and every apartment is around as expensive as that one? Like,
oh, that's a weird problem. I've been seeing that too. So it's like, you have the low wage or the stagnant wage, right? We'll just say stagnant because assuming that you have a decent enough wage to rent a place here. You have a stagnant wage, and then you have apartments becoming more expensive. So it's like apartments becoming more expensive, stagnant wage. It's like the scale's tipping at some point. You know what I mean? Like something's gonna have to give, and I feel bad for Homeboy here actually because let's see what he says.
What's a guy supposed to do? Am I fucked? Am I actually soft locked? I can't make more money. There are no cheaper apartments. That is the ratio.
Yo, Zach, you are fucked.
The ratio is set. If that's a deal breaker, I'm gonna be living in my car indefinitely.
Okay, well, hold on. That's a doomer. That's like a doomer way of like looking at it. Like, dude, just go live somewhere else. Like, go get another job. Go live somewhere else. If I was gonna have to live in my car anyway, I might as well go to a different state and go find a better job somewhere, or go live with my parents. Because at this point, it's like I know that's not an option for everybody, but like, it's like, dude, I will swallow my pride and move in with my parents and deal with the nonsense and nuance of having to be around my parents at 30. God, please don't make me have to move in with my parents. But like, this is one of those things. It's like, dude, doomer outlook, rent is too high, my wage is too low. And this is why my conspiracy is starting to make sense where it's like they want you to work a remote job so you don't have to have a car, so they can limit as much possible freedom as you have, and lower your standard of living so that you become desperate enough to go and work for the lowest wage possible. And it's like it's a vicious cycle of like this evil nonsense that's going on, and it's being instilled by like this greater entity, which is whatever company. And dude, it's got to stop. It's not going to last. It's not going to last. But how we get out of it, I don't know, dude.
Like, um, so that's been my day.
I just got told that my rent is going up by $100 a week. And I live alone, and it already went up by $50 with what feels like it was 6 months ago, but I checked, it wasn't. It was 12 months ago. And I basically have 2 weeks to figure out what I'm doing. And I just don't even know what to do. Like, obviously, everyone is going through this rental crisis at the moment, but I don't understand. I swear, only a few months ago, they were complaining about how there's too many apartments in Brisbane. But yet, why is there not one single fucking apartment for someone who just wants to live on their own and have a car park? Why is that so impossible?
Because they don't want you to have that. Nah, but you know what? That's $50 or $100 in rent increase isn't that terrible. Like all things considered, like if you have a car and you pay a car note, you don't live in your car, right? But like if you pay a car note and your car note's like $600, you know what I'm saying? Your car note doesn't go up and it doesn't go up, but like it's a bill, right? So like you paying $600. Thank God it doesn't go up because it's like you go and refinance and then imagine you have to pay 635. Holy shit. But like $50, I could see what her situation is. You know what I mean? If $50 is $50. I guess a better example is like car insurance. You have a car insurance is, say you're paying $350 a month and then you go and switch providers and now you're paying $190 a month. You like lowered your car insurance. But now you're saving what, like 200 something dollars. So switching was the best move, which is why people move. It's like people move from their apartment or from the place that they're currently living in because $50, $100 eventually adds up over the span of a year. But if you're willing to pay $200 to Progressive for car insurance, maybe switch your car insurance so that you're paying like $50 somewhere else and save that $150 so that you can spend it on rent. That sounds crazy, right? But I mean that is kind of what we kind of have to do. You're going to have to bend and pinch pennies, dude. Because if you're struggling on $50 increase in rent, it is already like futile. Like it is like you need to be making more money. It's it's a damn lost cause if you aren't, because it's just you're gonna lead yourself to I need five, like I can't spend $1. You know what I mean? I can't spend another dollar.
And like I checked the average salary for Brisbane, and my salary is a little bit higher than that. And even I can't find somewhere that's going to be even slightly livable after paying tax and HEX. Anyway, just wanted to see how we're all doing, if anyone else is in the same boat, because I'm so angry. I've lived here for 2 years.
Yeah, a lot of people
in the same
are
apartment.
in the same boat.
And I love living here, and the thought of leaving is really depressing. So, cool.
Okay, do you want to hear the stupidest thing ever? So my fiance and I are moving back in with each other in June, and he got a full-time job with a good salary, and then I have a salary now because I work full-time, and we're moving back in with each other in June, and we're looking for a one-bedroom apartment in Boston, but we're also planning a wedding, and so we have no savings, like $0 in savings, and so we're trying to figure out like what's the best apartment we can get with like basically no deposit.
You know what I hate about my generation? Um, it it's our way of like complaining about shit. Like I get that we have a right to complain here about the economy being fucked up. Like the economy's fucked up, okay. But like you're complaining about your wedding. And I won't say that nobody deserves to have like a good wedding. Like, that's a special day. You should definitely try to make it as special as possible. But what makes it special is the event and like the family being around, not necessarily the venue or the way things are. So I won't say that you're gonna have an extravagant wedding, because the way it sounds like you're not gonna have an extravagant wedding, lady. But maybe just be cool with that, you know? I don't think my grandparents or my great grandparents had an extravagant wedding. Like they didn't have the money either, I'm pretty sure. And I come from a family of farmers, right? So like if I wish my grandfather was alive today, I would ask him, where did you guys get married? But I'm pretty sure he would tell me like he would probably say something along the lines en el monte, because they got married probably in the mountains of Puerto Rico, and you know that was probably a beautiful wedding, but it probably costed them nothing. They were from there. They lived there already. You know? This this is a weird one. I feel bad for your wedding. And did anybody else think it was weird that they weren't already living together, fiance? But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. They're about to move back in together. I was just like, well, if you guys were living together before, what happened? That finances are all fucked up. That's what happened.
Well, the problem is in Boston they have something called a broker's fee. And so the broker's fee is normally like
Hold on, back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up, back
but
it
we're
up.
also planning a wedding, and so we have no savings, like $0 in savings. And so we're trying to figure out like what's the best apartment we can get with like basically no deposit. Well, the problem is in Boston they have something called a broker's fee. And so the broker's fee is normally like the fee that you pay the realtor that's basically equal to like maybe your first month's rent, right? So in Boston you would pay, so it seems like $2,000 for a one-bedroom apartment, which is actually really cheap. In Boston, you probably wouldn't be able to find one here for like at least 24, but let's go for $2,000 on the low end. So some apartments will ask you for the broker's fee, the first, last, and security. So that's $8,000 right up front for your first month. Well, we have no money, so we can't put $8,000 up like right then, right there to do that. So our other option is to look at like the quote unquote luxury buildings, which is privilege in and of itself. I get that. And so I looked at that, and a one bedroom apartment is, I think it's like $3,500 for like a smaller one bedroom, and there's a $500 deposit, but at the same time it's $3,500 a month. But we can't afford to put down the $8,000 a month, so we can sign a luxury building, which is great. And I feel, that we could do that, but it strains our income excessively because we can't put down the broker's fee. We can put down a $500 deposit and we could afford to live in an apartment, but afford's kind of a stretch because all of our bills and money would go to rent, which would be more than 30% of our income, which I don't even know who created that because.
Yeah, good point. Who did create that? 30% of your, like, I think that's wild. Like, 30% is actually a stretch in my opinion. Like, it should be 10%. And if possible, it should be 5%, you know? Um $3,500 in rent is crazy. So do not go live anywhere for $3,500 in rent. Like, it is not worth it. Let me tell you something. New construction luxury buildings are fucking garbage. Okay? And I hate that all of these apartments want to say luxury, like they're using the word luxury. It's just a loose term they throw around now. Um, because I'll be real, like hearing your neighbor fart through the wall, that's not a luxury. And fancy furnishings in an area that's ghetto is not luxury. And I mean like ghetto, like you walk outside your apartment and there's a dude on the corner slinging crack, or there's people at the pool fighting, right? Over like whose floaties whose. And I'll be real with you, dude. Like, it's crazy to me that, yeah. Well, I kind of already said it. It's crazy to me that these companies, these rental properties, want to call themselves luxury when there's literally nothing luxury about it, and they're using that word basically so they can be like, you know what? This is also $800, $900 more in rent than what it should be. So when you're driving up like down the road and you see the luxury apartments in your neighborhood or in your side of town or whatever, just think of that as upmark $900, and then go look at the rent price and then minus like $900, and that's what the apartment is actually probably worth renting for. And they could be marking it up more than $900. This is like car dealerships at this point. Mark it up another 1,000, 2,000 bucks. $3,500 rent, dude, for a place that's probably 1,500 bucks worth at the most.
Because clearly, I've never met anybody that spends just 30% of their rent. Like, mine right now for this shithole box that I live in is, I'm pretty sure, like 70%. Honest to God, 70%.
Damn, dude. 70%. What the fuck? And then like I don't know. I think I pay 30% of what I make. I think I pay a little less than 30% because I think rationally about that, and I think to myself 30% is a lot, dude. If I can lower it, I think I'm at 25, maybe 28%, but like if I could lower it to be like 10%, 5% of my income, that's what I would be paying. And honestly, I grow my own food. Like right now, I grow my own food. Right? I'm trying to save money in every way possible. I have a car note right now. I'm trying so desperately hard to pay off. And I want to pay it off and get it done. And I'm never financing a car again in my life. There's no point to that. There's no point to that. I can go and get a car for like a couple $1,000s and it will do everything a brand new car will do, and possibly more, because it won't break down or need some sort of like extremely expensive maintenance because it's a top of the line piece of shit.
of my salary. So now we're in this position where we can't find a place to live that's like but like we can't give you like first and last in security because we don't fucking have it. Like we literally do not have the money to do it. But if we go into a luxury building, then we're gonna be overpaying by $2,000 every freaking month.
Yeah.
I literally don't want to live anymore. Oh my god.
That was a nasty way of ending her shitty video. Um, there's probably some over dramatization just from like listening to that chick, and shout out to her fiance for having to like deal with that all the time. But honestly, I think that like there's a lot of truth to what she was saying too, and I just think it's nuts. You know, I hope she gets married and they live happily ever after in their little villa in Italy because that's where everyone's going to end up having to move.
Our landlord wants us to move because he found somebody that's willing to pay $3,000 a month in rent. When we first moved here, our rent was $1,900, and there has been no updates to this house since we moved here. No new refrigerator, no new stove, nothing new to this house, but he can command $3,000 because of how the market is now. And so we're forced to move because he wants to get that for rent.
That's wild. 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 Okay, look, hold on. The renter is being pushed out by the landlord. Renter is being pushed out by the landlord. Landlord doesn't update house at all. Renter. Wait, which one's the renter? This one's the renter. Renter lives in house with no updates. Landlord doesn't update anything at all. Renter pays $1,900. Landlord wants $3,000 for the rent, or they can move. Holy shit. What is going on, dude? That is crazy, dude. That is that my $900 up mark that I just said? That's more than a $900 up mark, right? $1,900 is to $3,000. That's $2,100 increased, and they don't even have a new fridge, bro. They don't even have a nice fridge. That is crazy.
Yes, and now we're trying to get into a market where all the rents have exploded, and it's because of what? Yeah, that's how my morning's going.
I would like for you to tell me how much you think my rent is or how much you think it should be based off of the apartment tour I'm about to give you. And then at the end, I'm going to tell you how much I actually pay. And you're probably going to be shocked.
Welcome to my
shithole. So we're going to start here at the front door. I do live in an apartment complex and we are on the second floor. So this is the front door. You come in. To the right, there is a hall closet that I just use for the trash can. And obviously the cat food because now they're going crazy since I opened the door. So just a little storage closet. Keep going around and we've got the kitchen. No new appliances. They're all old appliances. No new countertops. It's like the really crappy laminate countertops. The dishwasher barely works. Don't be fooled by the nice fancy faucet.
Look, I just want the rent to come down. I don't care about how nice and new the amenities are. Like, let's be real here. Do you really care? Because the video is about, like, where we are in rent prices and like straight up, dude, like I was just saying, fancy furnishings and luxury when you can hear your neighbor taking a shit is like that's not a luxury, you know? And then also like, do you really want your landlord to come in here and update all of your shit? He's gonna update that dishwasher, that fridge, and that stove, and that sink and that countertop. Let's make it all brand new. And then we'll charge him $4,000 rent, baby. $4,000 rent. Because we got to pay back that rehab loan.
I installed that myself. It's mine. I also took the cabinet doors off of these two cabinets to give myself some open shelving, and it's really cute. And also don't mind the dirty apartment because I did not clean up for this.
Well, first of all, you should have cleaned up because I'm going to judge you. Second of all, okay, taking off the cabinet doors from a rental apartment is stupid because that's like literally like who's going to put them? Are you going to put them back when you leave? Are you? Are you? And I'm going to be the only one to say it, I guess. Your kitchen looks stupid without those cabinet doors.
Attached to the kitchen, we have the living room. It's all an
This is a
open
standard
concept.
apartment.
There's nothing separated, no dining room or nothing. So I have the living.
Holy cow, she's got a lot of things on the wall. Look, I just got to say this. That is a standard apartment. And it looks nice, actually. She has not mentioned how much she pays in rent.
Room here.
I want to say she pays $2,000 in rent for this place, but I'll be real with you, that is outrageous if she's paying $2,000 in rent for this. So I'm gonna take it down a notch. She's paying $1,400 in rent, but that is still too expensive because, like I said in the beginning of this video, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, this place was $800. Probably $800, right? So maybe 900, maybe 1,000. I don't know. But so far, living room in the middle, that tells me to the right there's a bedroom, to the left there's a bedroom. Possibly also other bathrooms. So I think that she's using her pantry wrong because when you walk in the door to the right is supposed to be her pantry, but she leaves trash cans in it, so like there's lack of awareness of like how to properly set up her pantry, I think, or something there.
This is my ceiling fan. I installed this myself. There was not.
Why are you installing things in your apartment? Dude, waste of money.
One here. There was a plug in the ceiling for electrical, so I knew I could put one there. So I didn't install electrical myself, don't worry. But this is my ceiling fan. It did not come with the apartment. Another view of the living room from the other side.
So when you move, you got to take it down the ceiling fan. Dude, what the hell is wrong with you?
The carpet is not new at all. It was not replaced before we moved in. It's not.
They're not going to replace the carpet, dude. What is up with people in like unrealistic expectations of a rental? Like that's the one thing I want to say about all of this. It's like I get it. Like I want to be sympathetic. Like dude, nobody needs to be paying so much money in rent. It needs to come down. The price of everything needs to come down. Like everything is too expensive right now. But also, let's be real here. Do we actually expect the carpet to be replaced? You know, like it's a mom and pop maybe that's renting out places like this. This is an apartment complex. Maybe the company should have replaced the carpets. The majority of the ones that I've been to replace the carpets. And I had one apartment that had vinyl flooring, which by the way tried to charge me $110 for a one damaged plank of that vinyl flooring. I know the damn well that the plank was not $100, but I'm just saying, you know, are we gonna have unrealistic expectations of a landlord here? Like, I'm I'm not on the landlord side, but I'm not gonna be a snowflake here and be like, man, this carpet's dirty. Fucking buy a vacuum, dude.
Not like dirty or gross or smelly or anything, thankfully, but it was not new when we moved in. That's also my light fixture. I did that one also myself. We do have a decent sized balcony, which I love. All of our other balconies have been.
For living in an apartment, she has way too much shit. Like, look at the cat post. The cat post is sitting next to a cat post. Your problem, lady, is that you spend your money on bullshit. And you want to live a life of lavish luxury that you can't afford. Um, you just don't need it. You don't need two cat posts. You don't need 5 cats. You don't need a fancy light fixture that's shaped like a heart. You don't need any of it. And I'm not gonna be like, I'm not gonna like lie to you. It's okay to have some things that you like. You want to decorate your place and make it look nice. Like, back here, what do I got? I got a skateboard and a printer and a bookshelf and a cowboy hat. Yeehaw. You know? But like, really, dude? Really, dude? Really, dude? You are living in abundance. Okay? Be real with yourself. Are you spending too much money on rent? Or are you just spending too much money on your own ridiculous shit? There's got to be a mental shift. You may be able to pay for the rent if you don't spend $120 on cat litter every month. You may be able to pay for the rent if you're not going to go spend $50 on a fucking ceiling fan from Walmart. Just tinfoil hat here. I know it doesn't look like it is, but it is.
And really small. So I love the size of this one, and the cats love going outside. So past the living room, we have the hallway.
I appreciate that she loves her cats. I got a cat. This is Chester. I love my cat. He wishes he can go outside.
2 doors here. This one is the laundry room. It did come with a washer and dryer, which was great. It is an old washer and dryer, nothing new or updated again, but I actually prefer older washing machines than newer ones. It has an agitator, which I love. I just love an old washing machine. I feel like my clothes actually get clean. Potato, get out. In the second closet over here is just another storage closet. I installed another shelf here again. I just keep like the vacuum and steamer and all that kind of good stuff in here. To the right of that, we have the bathroom. This is just a 1-bedroom apartment, so there's just 1 bathroom. So you walk in, you can't open the door all the way because my litter box is on the other side there. But you come in, toilet. The bathtub is actually a really nice size. I love it. Do not look at that hair on the wall. That's gross. Vanity here, a nice sized vanity, but only 1 sink. A medicine cabinet.
I wonder if she says how much she's paying in rent at some point.
Nothing in this apartment is updated at all. It's still all the old flooring, all old appliances.
Why do women care so much about that? Like, dude, the flooring doesn't even have a chip in it. It doesn't look bad at all. Like, you just pan to the ground. I mean, you only showed me 1 spot, but I'll be real with you. Like, what the fuck? It's a floor. Do you really think a vinyl flooring is gonna make your life better? Is that the quality of life that you're looking for? Plastic flooring?
All old everything, okay? And then on the other side of the hallway is the bedroom. Just a very basic bedroom, a double window, which is like wobbly.
That's the 3rd cat post. The 3rd one. And I'm seeing a desk with like a gigantic monitor on it. I don't think it has to do with her rent. I don't think she's paying too much in rent at all. I think she's just spending her money on BS.
Question mark. I don't think it's supposed to be a little bit wobbly like that. That's concerning. But bedroom, again, if you take out all of my lovely decor, nice, you will realize it's such a basic apartment, basic bedroom.
Well, duh. Like, it's just a space for you to live in. Like, you're supposed to make the apartment or the house. You know what I mean? Like, the furniture doesn't make the house, but you do. You know? And I mean, like, like, I don't got a ton of anything in here at all. You can't see it on camera right now. There's some weights on the floor. Dude. What?
But it's a decent size, nice, but also chair. Not that big. We do have to have our desk and everything in here, so there's not a lot of space, and we only have a queen size bed.
The cats have invaded. That's just not enough space.
I can't even open my closet door all the way because of the nightstand, and it's a normal size nightstand.
You can't open the closet door all the way because you have too much stuff inside of your room. Like you're not supposed to have a desk and a cat post and a chair in the corner and like what do you think what are you living in? Why do you have all this stuff? Every time she pans to another room, there's a freaking weird looking carpet on the floor.
My messy bookshelves, and then the closet. It is a walk-in closet. It is the biggest closet we've had. So when you walk in, I have enough room to have the dresser in here, so that
Holy
saves space in the
cow.
bedroom. We have hanging here
Huge
and
closet.
here. It's hard to tell from here how big the closet is, but it is a decent size. It's the largest one that we've had, like I said, so it is nice. And that's it. That's our whole entire apartment. Now I want you to guess how much our rent is. We are in Connecticut, if that helps. So put your guesses down below, and in a sec I will tell you what we actually pay. So for our rent with fees and everything, because there's always your base rent and then they always add on your fees like amenity fees, trash fees. So rent with all of our fees and everything, $2,000 a month for a 750 square foot apartment. A 1-bedroom apartment.
Oh, it's one bedroom. It's one bedroom. That was the detail that I needed to know. Yeah, way too fucking expensive. Way too expensive, and you're gonna have to lower your standards, lady. Like, if you want to go rent a place that is cheaper, you're gonna have to deal with the not so nice furnishings. And I'll be real with you, you're probably getting ripped off right now. But that place is nice. I could see myself living there no problem, and I would definitely leave my cabinet doors on my kitchen. I mean, on my cabinets. But like, dude, $2,000, astronomical, dude. Out of this world, bro.
How are people ever able to afford to buy a house and like move up in the world? I have absolutely no idea, because I definitely thought when we moved into our first apartment when I was like 22.
Yo, I have an idea, but you know what's funny to me about what she's saying here is that there's such a gap in like what it used to be and what it is now. Like affordability like made sense when my parents were like in the market for a house when I was not even born yet. They were in the market for a house, but like my dad was a barber and was able to buy a house as a barber. Dude, like I'll be real with you, like that's a huge gap because now you have to practically be a doctor with your spouse that's also a doctor in order for you to save money so that you can buy a house. Or you have to have had a house given to you or the money to put into a house. It's 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 crazy. It's crazy, dude. Nuts. Outrageous. Outrageous. How outrageous. I won't say it again. Crazy.
23, and it was a 1-bedroom apartment, 750 square feet. Surely by the time I'm 28 we would have at least a bigger apartment, but no, because the price.
Okay, yeah, by the time you're 28, you're gonna have a bigger apartment. This lady's a little delusional. Like, it's just a fucking apartment, okay? So, it's not gonna get any bigger. Like, if you're gonna get a bigger apartment, get ready to pay more rent, you know? Living in an apartment sucks. I don't, I don't, I don't, like, if you like living that way, that's great. My opinion is that it sucks. I hated living in an apartment. I lived in an apartment for a decade. Moving from apartment to apartment, I've realized that every apartment has some weird quirk or some shit that I hated about it. And it wasn't until the very end of my apartment journey that I realized how much I really hated living in apartments because I moved into a place that was like really ripping me off. It was like $2,500 rent for about About the same square foot that she's talking about. It was really efficient. It had nice furnishings and all, but I lived on the third floor and had to climb stairs, so that was not a luxury. No, and I had to go and take out my own trash. That was not luxury. And the vinyl flooring on the floor being broken like that, the way that it like broke because of my bed frame. I know, right? It broke because of my bed frame, like on the like I guess like the weight of my bed frame like pressed through the floor and left a perfect like punched hole through the ground or through the vinyl flooring. And I thought that was crazy, but like you know what? That's what happened, and that costed me $110, or it costed them $110 to replace. Yep, yep. I know I was ripped off there, but like I'll be real with you, like the uh the apartment was nice. I had a pool, I had a gym, you know. I even had a garage to park my car. So, uh if you're paying this much in rent and you're not happy with your living situation, yes, it's time to move. It's time to move. Go find somewhere else to live. Be like Joey. Be like Mr. Random Internet Dude that literally is a nomad. And I move like every 2 years to escape a higher rent price. I'm just kidding. That's outrageous. Don't do that. It's actually really unstable. Don't do it. It costs a lot of money to move. And I moved to a house because I got tired of living in apartments. And I saved a lot of money to do it. And it was really hard. Like, no cap. It was hard as shit. I worked really hard to get where I'm at right now. But to be real with you, if this is what you're living with, this is what you're dealing with, dude, just the apartment's not for you, dude. Apartments are not for you. Okay? And some people like it, some people don't. Like some people, single living, they like it. They don't have to own. They don't own none of it. It's always maintenance. It's always fixed. Usually, because sometimes you have a bad landlord.
Prices have gone up so much. We are
All right, we gotta get through this video.
still in the same size, same quality apartment that we were when we were 22, 23. It blows my mind. Rent prices are crazy.
Y'all, the rental crisis in the United States is insane. These rental prices are outrageous. The quality of these homes are despicable, and these landlords are outrageous. At this point, it has to be affecting the homeless populations. Like, there has to be people out there who are homeless just because of the rental crisis. I live in a smaller Midwestern area with no big cities, no nothing. Our income and cost of living here is lower than it is in other regions in the United States. The average is about $31,000, $32,000 a year, which means you should only be spending between $700 and $800 a month on your rent, which is even pushing it since all the prices of everything else have gone up, gas and food and utilities, everything. A couple years ago, the average rental around here was about $750 to about $800, which would be in line with the income rates that are in my location. These same houses are going for like $1,200 now. If you want something that doesn't have mold growing out of the ceiling and right next to a substance lab, you're going to be paying into the thousands. And that's just for like a 2-bedroom, like 900 square foot house with a garden for a backyard. Yeah. Now, if you want something that has like 3 bedrooms and has a backyard or something, you're going to be paying like $1,800 to $2,200 a month in a place where the average income is $31,000.
Conspiracy! Live in the remotest area that you possibly fucking can. Let's live in the fucking boondocks. We live in the boondocks and we mine fucking crypto. That's right, baby. We make cryptos too and rug pull that shit. Yeah. That's how you're gonna get fucking rich. $1,800 for a 2-3 bedroom with a fucking yard? Sign me the fuck up.
And most of us rent. Then you go even further than that, and 90% of these places say no pets.
No pets.
2/3 of us Like, look at
Better not have no damn cats.
this. Right here. 2/3 of it.
It's a cat. Yo, that. Did everybody just get a cat from like 2019 to now? Everybody just has one of these guys now?
Have pets. So your
Where'd
choice
all these cats
is the
come from?
place next to the substance lab or paying $2,000 to finally find a place that is even moderately safe and allows you to bring your 10-pound cat. And you're still going to end up with a landlord. Like, I just saw one where they said if they come in and they do inspections, and if they see anything that they can attribute to the damage from an animal, which you have to pay a huge fee for in the first place, they will immediately evict you. And you have to.
Don't live there. Don't live there. Don't live there. Are you hearing this, Jester? He doesn't care. He's asleep. If like that's the situation, like I had a landlord that was that much of a dick, came in here and was like, "Yo, is that your cat? Yeah, that's your cat? This rug is kind of torn up. I know I didn't replace it when you moved in here, but I think your cat did that shit." Ugh, $500 fee.
Assigned to that. As if they can even prove it. This shit's insane. These landlords are tyrants. They are tyrants.
Hell
if you're
yeah,
going
they
to
are.
take on the responsibility of being a landlord, you should not be misusing and mistreating people. The U.S. has turned to freaking garbage.
Misusing is the wrong term. Mistreating people was correct. And the U.S. is not garbage, but damn, dude, she's going through it. We're all going through it. We all see it now. We're all seeing it, dude. We're all hearing it now. All these videos are coming out because there's so many people going through it. Like this, it's just a normal. It's the norm right now. It's the norm. That's the problem.
Garbage.
If you rent, can you please tell me how much your rent is going up at the ask of your renewal for your lease? Because I just got my notice and my rent is going up $190.
I said this earlier in the video, but I mean, like, look, $190 can be saved, okay? And moving to another place is not going to be, it's not going to be cheaper. Like, you may end up paying still $100, maybe $150 increase if you move somewhere else, and you got to pay for all your expenses to move, the U-Haul truck, get friends maybe to help you move. That would be like the cheapest possible thing you could do is get people to help you. Um, and then when you actually do move, you know what I mean? Yeah, you have to set up light, you have to set up the Wi-Fi. You know, there's connection fees for that garbage, and then there's like, you know, there's unknown unknowns like getting your U-Haul towed. That shit happened to me with my stuff in it. I had a U-Haul and I parked it in a reserved parking spot because there was no parking at the community that I lived at. Reunion at 400, I'll say your name. There was no parking at where I lived at, and they chose, well, I won't say they chose, but I think they're in cahoots with the towing company. Conspiracy. But I believe that they've chose a predatory towing company because they know that they can get away with this, and then they're making money off of the heads that people are getting towed. I had my U-Haul towed, and I ended up having to pay an extra $300 for my move to get my U-Haul back with all of my shit in it. And I had to pay, I don't recall exactly, but I think it was 180 something dollars to U-Haul for an extra day for the move because that happened. So really I paid like damn near $500, 480, and I'm not even including taxes, so it probably was $500. And that wasn't even on anything useful. It wasn't even for help. It wasn't for anything. It was literally just to get my U-Haul back and have it for an extra day when I shouldn't have had to do that. Absolutely outrageous, absolutely absurd, and very predatory and very like honestly just downright like just evil. Like there's some evil shit going on, and it's I know I wasn't the only one dealing with that kind of nonsense, and everybody from that community was fed up and had enough with it. Like they were leaving. People were leaving by the dozen. And it was funny because towards the last few months of me living there, I looked around and there was like tons of vacant apartments, tons of them, just next to each other even.
A month. I am so heated at this because I literally left my last apartments because they were raising my rent $210 a month. For context, in my other apartments, I kind of understood because a new management property had bought the complex and they painted everything outside to make.
Yeah, no, I don't understand. I don't understand, so stop trying to understand it. Painting a place and slapping a fucking S on it or whatever is literally an Apple move. It's an Apple incorporated move. Changing the color and putting a more expensive price tag on it, okay, is nonsense. And it is not worth a $200 increase on every single person's rent just because somebody came in to buy the property. It's like they refinanced it at a higher rate than the previous guy. So in order for them to make money, they have to then increase your rent and everybody else's rent that everyone's living there. It's like, dude, how does that make sense? Even on the real estate side of things. And of course, this is going to be a side effect. And the worst case scenario is if all of these people stopped paying their rent, like they just chose, hey, we're going to stop paying rent right now, and you and your portfolio can go screw yourself as the realtor or the real estate agent or the real estate investor, whatever you are. You can go screw yourself. It could be a huge loss for a lot of people, you know? And I don't know. It's a saturated market. Maybe we should stop trying to buy the next yard over. Like, just stop. Okay? It's a saturated market. You're not going to make more money. There's no more money in the market. After some point, it just stops.
Make it look a little bit more luxurious. They changed the landscape a lot, which did make the whole property look nicer.
They put some new grass, they put some mulch, they planted a palm tree. They did make it look nicer
As a whole. So I kind of understood why, but I still thought it was ridiculous that they were raising it $210 a month for a one-bedroom apartment. I was going to be paying like $1,500 for a 700 square feet apartment, one bedroom, one bath.
I almost cried for her just now. Oh my god, I'm heart palpitations. $1,500 for some fucking paint and some grass? Yo, dude, so disgusting. What the hell?
So I said, you know what? That's ridiculous. I'm moving. I moved to the apartment that I am at now, which is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, because it was only $100 more than what I was going to be paying over there, but it's almost double the square footage. So I thought it was worth it, right? And I've lived in this apartment complex before. And last time when they sent my renewal lease, I think it was only going up $40. So I was expecting it to be on the lower side because I have dealt with this apartment complex with the same management company. And I knew it was going to be a little bit more than just $40 because the first time I lived here was during the pandemic and right towards the end of it, like when things were calming down towards the end of 2020. So I know a lot of things have changed, but from $40 to $190 is insane. So I'm just wondering, if you guys are renters, how much is your landlord raising your rent? Because how is this even legal. Like, there is no changes where I live. It's not like they're updating my unit. It's not like they're updating things outside. The service isn't changing. Oh, and on top of that, they're also charging more for valet trash now.
Does anyone else feel like we might possibly be in like late stage capitalism where it's like they're trying to make money off of absolutely everything? They're trying to corporatize absolutely everything. It's like it's like they're gonna eventually the water's gonna run out. The water coming out the faucet, dude, it's on full blast right now, dude. And as soon one of these days, it's just gonna just drip, 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 and be done. Absolutely nuts.
Which I still think is ridiculous that they don't have it as an optional thing, as an optional service that you have to have valet trash. Like, why can't I just take it to the trash myself and not pay those $20 a month, $25, but now they're raising it to $30? Like, be fucking for real. Anyway, I'm fucking sick of landlord greed, because that's what I think it is. I understand everything is more expensive, but if they're raising my rent that much, I'm sure they're doing that to others. So what the fuck? That is just way too much money for zero change. No change whatsoever, but you're charging me more.
Right now, the U.S. economy is in a crisis, a rental crisis, a people with homes that can't afford their rent prices. Okay, so this is what's going to happen, and this is what I would recommend you guys do, okay? If you own a house, rent your house out, please. Go rent your house out and then go move into a different apartment, because I know a lot of friends that just bought their houses that are paying about 2,000, let's say 2,200, 2,500 for a 2-bed home, right? That's about $200 to $300,000 for a house. No one else is going to pay that amount, right? So you're going to have to Airbnb it out, or you're going to have to rent the entire house out because you're no longer safe in the place that you bought your house, which is also what is happening. The people that live in Chicago, they're like, I don't want to raise my kids here. The crime is going up. What am I going to do? You got to rent it or you got to sell it, and selling it is really not an option right now. So you're going to have to rent those houses. Now, the people that are smart, for example, family members that I know are like, hey, I want to go rent an apartment. I'm like, go rent a house. There's going to be so many houses for rent. Go walk around your neighborhoods and look for houses for rent. Not only is it going to be because they no longer want to stay in the area, maybe because they don't feel safe, or if they found another option, a better investment, or it's because they are no longer able to afford it and they're like, well, I'd rather rent it out to somebody than lose my house.
Oh my gosh. That's a whole other scenario I didn't even think about, man. That is crazy, dude. I raising kids, you know. Yeah, I totally get it. You know, you don't want to be living in South, Central Chicago or whatever. And yeah,